Hi, friends. Welcome again to another episode of Beyond the Clouds Edge to Edge Transformation. And transformation is going global. And we have people like Kwabena who are doing amazing things, both here in the United States as well as in his home country and other parts of the world. So, Kwabena, tell us a little bit about you. How did you become the Kwabena I now know? Such an amazing person.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you, Shankar, for inviting me on your podcast. I've watched a few of your earlier podcasts, very thoughtful and insightful. It is a privilege and honor to be here. Now, my name is Kwabena Boateng. I am founder and president of African Diaspora Nation. It is a nonprofit organization that is considers itself a pan-human sustainable development organization that prioritizes human capital development and transnational leadership development. We based in Westboro, Massachusetts. Our focus is on Africa and its diaspora. I also serve as head of system safety and trust at Amazon's robotics division. Originally from Ghana, I've been in the US for probably like 24, 25 years now. So a lot of changes since then and growth.
You have seen many facets of life. How did you end up with doing safety at Amazon?
That journey started a while back. I have been with Amazon for about going on 3 years. But my first professional experience was as a control systems engineer with a consumer products company. Actually, Kimberly-Clark. That's how I got into control systems. And from there, I actually worked in oil and gas when I graduated. And in oil and gas, it is pretty safety sensitive. I had to get the safety aspect of controls incorporated into my skill set because it was just important. It was everywhere. And I needed to learn safety to incorporate it into robust control systems design for emergency shutdown and the like. So that's how I started getting into safety, but it was still on the periphery, I'll say, until I transitioned to a major capital project. It's called the Escravos Gas Liquids Project. It was a $2 billion project, which was focused on converting gas, which was then being flared in the offshore of Nigeria, into super clean diesel. And some of the processes in this particular process were very dangerous, explosive, huge blast radius. So my role on that project as the emergency shutdown systems engineer put a different kind of burden or demand on me, where I got more into the standards, IEC 61508, 6111 for process industries, safety instrumented system, design, verification, validation, and all that. That is where the depth and safety came into the picture. I loved it because I'm someone who believes human dignity and worth is unassailable. To have the opportunity to, through my role, through my job, make sure that we design systems in a way which assure the safety and dignity of people was something that deeply resonated with me. So that's how I started getting into that. And then after about 18 years doing that, I ended up seeing an opportunity in Amazon, a different industry, which allowed me to combine those two skill sets in a different industry, whilst also providing room for more growth. Because now I got into product safety, regulatory compliance, material compliance, machinery safety, all that became part of the organization I was responsible for. So that is how I got into this space. Fundamentally, I enjoy it. It aligns with my respect for the dignity of people. Safety is about preservation and maintenance of that.
Can you tell us a little bit about your nonprofit work, which is Pan-Human Sustainable Development? What exactly is it?
African Diaspora Nation is the name of the nonprofit. Our focus has been bridging Africa and its diaspora. We realized early on that there were huge disparities when it came to our understanding of each other, Africans within the continent and Africans within the United States. And we figured that leveraging the convening power of historically Black colleges and universities, which, by the way, have been instrumental in raising Africa's early leaders, independence leaders. About 4 of them went to historically Black colleges and universities, but the story wasn't being told. So we use the convening power of HBCUs to bridge Africa and its diaspora, addressing a number of things. The underrepresentation of youth of African descent in study abroad. Study abroad is important for expanded sense of self-awareness, a global perspective. And there is still, it's work in progress, right? There's underrepresentation of people of African descent. Africans are looking for opportunities in education. Historically, Black colleges and universities presented that opportunity. So by bridging, we enabled that exchange. We facilitated faculty exchange, research partnerships. And through that global framework, leadership mindset was being expanded from a global perspective. So that's why we call ourselves pan-human, right? And now we pan-human because we really believe that you're not African only because you were born in Africa, but you are African because Africa has been born in you, right?
Oh,
And that can be irrespective of how you look. You experience the birth of Africa in your person. Humanity is rooted in Africa from an evolutionary perspective. That is really pan-human at the end of the day.
that's an amazing charter. I like that Africa is born within you. And that
Yeah.
reminds me of my motherland, India, where many of our ancestors, at least in southern part of India, have been traced back to Ethiopia. And in the
Interesting.
western part of India, have been traced back to different parts of East Africa.
Yeah.
Also, our music, a lot of our music is influenced, the tribal music has African beats, African, Egyptian, Middle Eastern beats.
Very
So,
interesting. Yeah, I absolutely believe in that communality. I didn't start this way, but I've gotten to the point where I really leave it open. It is self-selecting, if you could call it that. And I will embrace everybody because at the end of the day, what is truly African is that spirit of Ubuntu, right? It
yes,
is that spirit of I am because you are because I am. And that is it. It's more about mindset than it is about the color of the skin. Though there are experiences which are common by virtue of that social construct of race, but at the heart of it, it's mindset and authenticity which facilitates great relationships, high integrity relationships. It's not necessarily how somebody looks at the end of the day. So I totally embrace that. And I think amazing things are going to happen. I think that when we seek to solve the fundamental challenges of Africa, when we seek to serve the least on the African continent, we will inadvertently also be serving the least on the Indian continent. So there's definitely that need for cross-pollination of ideas. I believe the African diaspora in the US has a lot to learn from the Indian diaspora. We have a lot to exchange and share with each other. So I'll definitely be one of those who lace my boots and get about this work of bridge building, particularly in architecting this new order, which is more collaborative, multipolar. This new order, which is STEM enabled, unlocking possibilities due to collaboration and innovation in the realm of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. I think those are all great areas to collaborate.
in technology, you worked in so many different technologies from the control systems, mechanical, electrical systems, and now artificial intelligence and all that. What did you enjoy the most technologically, as well as in the many verticals that you worked with? And how did you go from one realm to another?
The common theme is the desire to learn and be curious. It's a desire to strive for my highest potential. That is the common theme which helps me navigate this seemingly meandering journey. And each of these industries has contributed. I mean, first of all, the people. what I love most about all this is the people, the diversity of people I've been exposed to, the diversity of thought, the diversity of viewpoint, particularly in oil and gas, where I had the opportunity to get on some expatriate assignments. Coming to the US, studying in the US from Ghana, coming from Ghana, working in New Orleans. New Orleans has its own unique feel, like the gumbo and all that. Then going on to work in Houston, then expatriate assignments in a remote part of Angola, getting to see the impact of years of war, as well as the parallels between historical slave trade, the commonality between the ports which conveyed human cargo, human energy from Africa. I found one common theme is those same ports, which are now the oil terminals, conveying oil and gas. So getting to learn all that, understand the history, the patterns, and all that. Going to Nigeria, another totally different place, working as an expatriate there, working in the city as well as in the very remote part, the Niger Delta, which had rebel activity, people blowing pipelines and all that. All that has contributed to shaping who I am. And bringing all that, being in that field, which required a lot of travel, being away from the family a lot, and then bringing all that into a space like I'm in Amazon, which allows me to spend more time with my family, but also presents a high-tech space which moves at a very high pace. Oil and gas is very process-oriented. We move a little bit slow in that domain. Working in high-tech with Amazon has been high agility, fast pace, move quick, fail quick, learn, wash, rinse, repeat. That has been fantastic. And the diversity of talent I've seen in this space has been amazing. Now, AI is in every space. It's either in the fundamental technology of the space, it's in the sensing, computer vision, the perception, it is in the training of models for robotic manipulation. Also in our workflow transformation initiative. Right now, you cannot hide from AI. I actually think it needs to be embraced within the context of ethical and moral application. I'm enjoying that too. So the learning continues. I don't even know what's next, but continue to learn, continue to be curious.
When I hear you telling about your jobs and your careers, it does not feel like it's a job. It feels like you're a kid in a candy store having a lot of fun and you're totally passionate about it. Have you felt that way all along in your career, or did you get bored and change?
It's even more exciting looking back. When you look back, you're connecting the dots and you appreciate the unique contributions of these spaces. Yes, there were times when I was in it, it felt like drudgery on some days. That is the reality. But when you look back, you realize that, hey, there has been no accident regarding where I have been. Everywhere I've been, I was supposed to be there. There was something to learn over there. And I just have a belief that there's no accident in a world ruled by divine order.
This is a dream for a lot of people, especially young people who are idealistic, to work in something that they really care about, to do things that are passionate about, that culturally, socially, and spiritually aligns with what they want to do. How should somebody in this day and age, with all the chaos around us, find such opportunities?
It all starts with know who we are at each point in the journey. Have desiring a sense of purpose and pursuing it. It comes with self-reflection. It comes with being mindful as you navigate the challenges of life. In all things, looking for the gems. There's always a gem around the corner. I believe that our purpose, we are all unique solutions to problems in the world. And if we hunger, we thirst, we dig deep, we all have different faiths and belief systems and all that. But I believe that if we truly desire to find purpose, we will find it. And it is a blessed thing to have that clarity of purpose and vision. And it may evolve, right? Be open to the fact that it will evolve in time. But to get to that place where you have clarity of purpose, you have clarity of who you are. I always say that when you have clarity of who you are, clarity of identity, it translates to vocational clarity. it translates to relational integrity. And then that translates into community impact, a journey that we all must go through our own individual paths. And then you meet people along the way who catalyze, yeah, there's always somebody you meet. It's a book you read. Surprisingly, they may not be even from your faith tradition. That's the amazing thing. Being open-minded at the end of the day is key.
I really like that idea that you suggested. We are unique solutions to problems. Find that problem and solve it really well.
George Clinton, I believe he was a musician, performing artist in the 60s. He said the solution is always in the problem. Every problem, if you dig deep into it, the solution is right there. I believe we are solutions too. When we come into this world, there's a reason why we're here. It is to provide a unique value proposition. And that's why education is so important. If we don't educate, then we miss out on that opportunity for a solution to be unleashed in a world full of problems.
Talking about education paradigms have shifted a lot over the decades. A lot of things are available online. And ChatGPT can even create solutions. What's the best way to learn? What's the best way to get educated in today's day and age?
That's an interesting question. I think there's no one best way. Because we are unique, because we learn different, it is important to identify what type of learner we are. We have the unique benefit of these technologies, which actually can be customized and prompted to engage us the way we learn. So I believe that an identification of the learning style of the learner is important. The second thing is the experiential part. This rote learning definitely, it constrains creativity and innovation. An opportunity to get into an experiential scenario-based learning environment where there is a demand put on your creativity and innovation. I believe that is so important. It's the creativity, the innovation, is the inventiveness. That is the differentiator today. Learning paradigms which incorporate all this, as well as a strong system, philosophical paradigm, which results in a mindset of service, a mindset of collaboration, respect for the dignity of people as a foundation. I think that is key.
Very true, very true. You mentioned something interesting. You said you can't hide from AI today. There are a lot of people concerned because their jobs are at stake. There's a risk that a lot of that will be done by machines or significantly augmented. If you've been summarizing, answering calls, how should people approach the problem of AI and be a part of the solution rather than be a part of the problem that is being let go?
It has always been true. One needs to have a mindset of continuous learning and development. You stop learning and you want to maintain the status quo in a world which is evolving. I think that's a losing proposition. I see AI as an opportunity to augment and help optimize our problem-solving ability. I will encourage people to have a mindset to continue learning, the mindset to embrace and see this as an opportunity, but yes, appreciate the ethical dimensions of this innovation. But don't spend too much time focusing on that and letting that hindering you from actually experiencing what it is. I think everybody needs to dabble in it, experience it, and they'll be positioning themselves to move with the times. One needs to expand in knowledge. You will totally become uncompetitive in this world, and I don't think that's what anybody wants. There needs to be that sense of ownership that, hey, I need to continue evolving.
And I see that being a global phenomenon now. It's not just limited to certain parts of the world. You have seen cultural, economic differences around the world, and whether it's certain parts of Africa or even within the United States. Is there a way in which you see a future where the digital divide, the economic divide can be healed and people will find opportunities to go forward?
That's what leadership is about. It's about service. The key is education. A solid education is a great equalizer at the end of the day. We've seen it over and over and over and over again. Investing in education, investing in peace. First of all, you need a peaceful environment. You need a secure environment to enable people to have the right conditions to actually study. This is why the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are important. That is why I appreciate the commitment of various governments in the world. But it shouldn't just be left to governments. It should be left for diaspora organizations like mine, diaspora people like yourselves, continually looking for ways to provide a solid educational experience. Because the fact of the matter is, a lot of the brightest have left, whether it's India or Africa, they all come into the United States. We have a unique opportunity to reverse the brain drain, this technology. A very unique opportunity. It's unprecedented, one which allows scale and force multiplication. Those are some of the things I'm looking at. Leveraging technology innovation, educational innovation to close the digital divide. I don't think we have it all figured out, but we have the best shot that we've had in ages right now because of the technology available to us. Our hands have never been stronger when it comes to bringing everybody into a paradigm where they educated, being of beneficial impact to humanity, being the solution to a problem in the world.
That's true. Last time you and I had a chat, you talked
Mhm.
about the fact that there are so many places that are still healing from war, social unrest, from economic depression, earthquakes and floods, and all kinds of things. You had some ideas on how to bring about that healing to foster by bringing people together. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
A lot of the problems we have are caused by the othering of people, the inability to see that we share a common humanity, that we all have dignity that is unassailable, working in win-win paradigms. It's important to actually walk in each other's shoes and try to see the world through compatriots, the other person. Doing that, seeing it authentically, can really bring down the walls and enable a different paradigm of engagement, which is transformative. I would love to see a good production where you actually have people traveling, experiencing, say, Africans going to India, going with Indians, Caucasians, then doing the same thing to Africa. We talked about these circles of sharing, which is collaborative, which respects everybody's perspective and values everybody's perspective and seeks to have that multi-understanding, which is usually that zone where sustainable solutions arise. I'd love to see more of those things happen. I think there's a lot of experimentation and there's a lot of discovery that is available to be found so far as building peace, building collaboration and connections, authentic connections with peoples. That is my thought on that.
If people who are listening to this want to support you, how can they contribute to it? How can they be a part of that solution that you're looking at?
Thank you very much. If you're a technical professional, there's an opportunity to mentor. There's an opportunity to coach. There's an opportunity to contribute your technical skills to a solution being developed. There's an opportunity to say, hey, I think you will benefit from being connected to this person in my network, making an introduction. It's valuable. You may have a product that you create and that you sell yourself. Even as we fundraise, we can come through some arrangements where your products will be gifted to people who contribute to a cause. Because, we need to raise money. We need to fund what we do. So these are all ways. And even just liking and sharing what we share on our social media platforms, spreading the word. It doesn't involve a financial commitment, but it is helping to propagate our work and our message. If anybody wants to support, to contribute, they're welcome to go to www.africandiasporanation.org or African Diaspora Nation across Facebook and Instagram, and connect over there. We're always happy to connect.
How do you find work-life balance? You are so busy in your work time. Like any tech company, it's a 24/7 job. And you have got this nonprofit diaspora work that's going on, and you have a family. How do you juggle between all these things?
Well, I'm blessed to be in a place right now where I'm on a sabbatical. It is fantastic, but yes, work-life balance. I was just reading somewhere and it resonated deeply with me that there is indeed no work-life balance. It's all about identifying what is important to you, having a portfolio management approach, and identifying what is important to you and allocating your time according to those buckets. During the working week, it's largely business. Outside of work, it's family, and then also working this nonprofit. And then building a network of people who share the same cause and are able to carry the load. That's the journey I'm on right now, right? I've carried the load for a while, building an organization, people who believe in the vision, who said that the status quo is not acceptable and are willing to enroll and join hands, hearts, and minds to journey together. That is the approach I'm taking. I cannot do it by myself. I need a strong network of partners and supporters, and that helps to manage it all. It's an ongoing juggling act. I cannot say I have it mastered.
Well, it's so exciting to hear about all these things. When I first approached you, I thought we would only be talking about safety, security, and ethics in business. And now I'm seeing a whole new side of you, which is exciting. I will, one way or the other, find a way to be of service to your initiatives, especially the diaspora initiatives. And to people out there, I'm always looking for different views because that's the only way we can understand and co-create the future. I don't have a crystal ball that can predict flawlessly what's going to happen 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Together, we can support each other and co-create a good, just, better world. So please come forward, tell us your stories, share your vision of the future, and we can work on it together. And thank again, Kwabena.
I also want to express my utmost appreciation to you, Shankar. It's been a blessing having you connect and joining our networks. So I look forward to following this beyond the clouds.
We need a
Thanks to
little
your
more
audience.
clarity beyond the clouds.